Yo, Mr. K, I can hear you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sterling Channel 19, and we're coming in here live with Connor Warrington from the student section. Connor, how you doing today?
What's up, Dan? We're ready for a big matchup, man. Everybody's here. How we feeling in the truck, Dan?
I mean, we're feeling great, Con, and describe the atmosphere right now in the student section. I'm sure this is going to be a big one for the boys.
Dan, everyone down here is locked in, man. I mean, we've already been warned a few times about what we're saying, but we don't care, man. We're here for a good time, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Sterling. Let's go.
It's obviously a pretty big game, Con. Now I got to ask you. I mean, from the student section, are the vibes feeling good? Is everyone feeling confident for today's game?
Yeah, Dan, the vibes are ready. We're ready for a big win. We're ready for the conference, baby. We got to win this one for the conference. We're ready.
All right, Connor, I'm going to let you go. Thank you for coming in, Connor. We appreciate it, and go Knights.
No problem, Dan. Go Knights, baby. Go Knights, one. Go Knights, baby.
So that was awesome. There's Connor Warrington, and we're just going to come back in just a little bit.
Sterling High School Channel 19, winner of the National Emmy Award for the Best Live Game Broadcast.
You're watching Sterling High School Channel 19, serving Hynella. Laurel Springs, Magnolia, Summerdale, and Stratford.
For the first time since 1971, Sterling is South Jersey champ.
Went on to become the New Jersey Tournament of Champions winner. South Jersey's never won it before. So the Sterling Lady Knights and that string sing. South Jersey is well represented now.
Sterling is going to the championship game.
Looks like he's fouled there. Put on a desperation shot. And there he goes. It's good. It's
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sterling Channel 19, and we are here for the long-awaited matchup here at the Castle between your Sterling Silver Knights, who sit at 10-7, 4-3 in the division, and the Haddonfield Bulldogs, who sit at 14-4 and 6-1 in the division. So as I just mentioned, Haddonfield on top of the division this year. On a year that was supposed to be a rebuild year for the Bulldogs, they sit at 14-4, 6-1 in the division, and then Woodbury retook the second-place spot, 8-11 overall, 5-2 in the division. Then the Haddon Knights Garnets sit at 11-6 overall, 5-3 in the division. And then your Sterling Silver Knights, 10-7 overall, 4-3 in the division, looking to bounce back here at home. Paulsboro Red Raiders sitting at 5-11, 2-6, and West Effort 3-12, 1-7. The game history since 2007, Haddonfield leads the series 35-13. Haddonfield has won the last three. Sterling's last win came in February 2023. In the last 11 games, Sterling is 6-5. So Sterling looking to get back on track after losing 3 straight to the Haddonfield Bulldogs. Sterling and Haddonfield comparison. Sterling sitting at 10-7, fourth in Colonial Liberty. Haddonfield sitting in first in the Colonial Liberty with a 14-4 record. Sterling's offense averaging a good 58 points per game, but Haddonfield has been on fire, a primarily three-point shooting team with 60 points per game. And then Sterling's defense letting up 53 points per game, around average, but Haddonfield lockdown defense with 44 points per game allowed. So Sterling leading scorers is Zion Arnett with 13 points per game. Julian Johnson and Travis Schmidt both tied with 11 points, and Josh Borsch with 9. And then for Haddonfield, Chris Bean and Mike Douglas, the junior duo, with 13 points apiece. Then Ryan Gavayan with 10 points apiece, and then Jake Duadoff with 7. The keys to the game here for Sterling is short-term memory. They had a rough stint on the away trips, and then brotherhood, making sure they stick together and play as a team. Taking a look at the Group 2 power points, Middle Township leading the way at 11-6, 26.3 points, power points, and Haddonfield sitting there 14-4 with 22 power points. And then Sterling at the 8th place spot, so if they were to win today, they would host Gloucester at home. They are 10-7 with 19 power points, and it's going to be interesting how the rest of this season goes for the Knights. The last game on January 8th, Haddonfield won 66-52. Sterling, Zion Arnett had 18, Travis Schmidt had 13, and Julian Johnson with 9. But on the other hand, Haddonfield just had a really stellar performance with Chris Bean having a remarkable performance with 20 points with strong help from Ryan Gavayan with 11 points and 9 boards. And then Jake Duadoff also providing 10 in the win. So I'm going to cut to break here in just a moment and let the boys introduce themselves.
Marcus Johnson, junior, forward, Summerdale.
Travis Schmid, senior, forward, Laurel Springs. Jace Camarda, senior, guard, Stratford.
Casey Kozaneski, senior, forward, Stratford.
Julian Johnson, senior, guard, Summerdale.
Quentin Rosano, senior, forward, Stratford.
Zion Arnett, senior, guard, Summerdale.
Mari Key, senior, point guard, Summerdale.
Joshua Bush, junior, forward, Magnolia.
Salim Jones, junior, guard,
So welcome back here to the broadcast as we're going to take a look at the Haddonfield starters for this evening. First, it's going to be Chase Stadler. Now, Chase Stadler, 6.5 points per game and has a steal a game. 3-point specialist for Haddonfield, 30 3-pointers made compared to the 8 2-pointers. And then it's going to be Ryan Gavayan, the sophomore, 10 points per game with 6 rebounds. Then it's going to be Chris Bean, 13 points per game, 6 rebounds, nearly 2 steals per game, and had a team-high 20 points in the win against Sterling. And then it's going to be Mike Douglas, his counterpart, the junior, 13 points per game, 3 assists, and 2.4 steals per game. And then Jake Duedoff with 7 points per game, a rebound, and a steal per game. And on the other hand, we have your Sterling Silver Knights as Zion Arnett leading the way this year, 13 points per game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal per game. Then their senior Julian Johnson with 11.5 points per game with 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal per game. And then senior Travis Schmidt, 11 points per game with 4 rebounds, a steal a game, and 93% from the free throw marker. And then it's going to be Jason Camardo, who has 4 points per game, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and then Josh Borsch with 9 points per game and 5.6 rebounds. So thank you for tuning in here. I'm Daniel Leakin, joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Jake Clark. Now, Jake, I know you haven't seen a lot of this Sterling team, but what are you excited to see tonight?
Well, Dan, I just think that when these rivalry matchups happen, it comes down to the team that is able to play their best game under pressure with a lot of tension and bad blood between these schools. They don't like one another, and it's really going to come down to which squad is able to pass the ball, limit the turnovers, and play their game even with the pressure pounding down on them in this rivalry matchup.
And we saw here at the Castle, I mean, Connor Warrington gave us, a sneak peek inside the student section, and the student section popping tonight, and I think Sterling's going to be playing with a lot of energy.
Absolutely. I mean, just looking at it, the super fans here tonight, they're always on their A game, especially when it's a game against Haddonfield. This one should be absolute cinema here, Dan.
Absolute cinema indeed, Jake. And it's a big game for Haddonfield as well, and especially for Coach Paul Wiedemann. In his 26th year, he is 498 and 143. So 498 wins, 143 losses. Jake, a win tonight for Haddonfield can mean win 499 for Coach Wiedemann, and that is something that, Haddonfield's going to be playing for tonight.
I mean, he's a tremendous coach in his 26th season, as we see right there. 5 state championships, 7 South Jersey championships, 16 Colonial Conference titles. He's won 20 games 22 times in 26 seasons, and he's the fastest coach to get to 200 wins. But on the other side of things for Sterling, head coach Justin Behringer has sort of brought this program back to relevancy within his couple years here, and he's done a fantastic job of taking this Sterling team to a Group 2 final back in 2023 and had a lot of success with the Knights.
Now, and something to speak about when it comes to these super fans is at the Castle, Sterling is undefeated at home with 5 out of their 10 wins coming at the Castle. So Coach Paul Wiedemann to your left and Coach Behringer to your right are going to have a great battle tonight. And Jake, on the road, Sterling has definitely had a little bit of struggles. 3 division losses, including a loss to Haddon Township as well. And, on this little home stint, Jake, I'm sure that Coach Behringer to your right and Coach Paul Wiedemann to your left, and Coach Behringer is going to really want to get back on track here.
Absolutely, and I mean, you want to be able to play against a division rival, and as we talked about in the Open, Haddonfield thought it was going to be a bit of a rebuilding year with a lot of their guys not seeing the varsity floor last year. They had a ton of seniors last year, and now some of these unexperienced guys coming in the lineup, but they're sitting at the top of the conference with a 14-4 record, 6-1 in the Colonial Liberty. Sterling at 10-7. So right now, by the record, it looks like Sterling's going to be the underdog, playing here at home with the superfans behind them, trying to upset the Haddonfield Bulldogs at the top of the division. And that's a great storyline that just sort of writes itself with this upcoming game.
And again, Jake, at the Castle, Sterling, 5 of their 10 wins were coming here at the Castle. Other wins have come from tournaments and such, and a couple of away wins as well. But Sterling really performs better when the crowd is right behind them. And last year when we were here together, Jake, we had a really, really great game here when we watched Haddonfield take on Sterling.
Yeah, it was a great game here at home, and the boys, who were major underdogs last year, kind of hung around, and we saw that in both of their games against the Bulldogs where they were in it at halftime, but then in the second half, Haddonfield was able to run away with it. We'll have to see if that trend continues here today or if the Knights are able to compete for all 4 quarters.
So we're just getting ready for tip-off here at the Castle. A little bit of Thursday Night Hoops brought to you by Sterling Channel 19 as we are off in just a few moments. Got us with the pump fake here too. Haddonfield versus Sterling. Tale as old as time, and Sterling's going to win the tip and start with possession. Camardo is going to be the one taking it up to the court here for the Knights. Camardo looking for an outlet, finds Arnett. Sterling looking to get started here on the offensive side of the ball, trying to set the momentum with this first score. Arnett finds Camardo. Camardo now going right back up to the top. Taking his time, finds Johnson. Johnson covered by Gavayan.
And Sterling's doing a good job of coming out and just taking their time, not trying to force anything.
Now the floater from Johnson, and the first 2 points of the game come from Julian Johnson, and they were taking their time, found their shot, and Johnson with an early 2.
Yeah, Johnson, the second leading scorer per game, 11.5 points per game here for the Knights. A threat from beyond the arc, but he can score at all 3 levels, and he showcased it right there.
So now Stadler finds Duedoff, now finds Gavayan. Gavayan looking to the outside where it's Stadler. Stadler to Douglas. Douglas fakes the shot. Going to move inside, out to Stadler. Stadler for 3. That one doesn't go. Rebound there by Arnett. And now Johnson's going to take it up the court, finding Borsch. Borsch moving inside. Looking outside to Johnson. Johnson, 3-pointer. That one doesn't go. Rebound by Haddonfield. Now they're moving up the court with speed. Duedoff up and blocked by Arnett. Arnett with a ferocious swat.
Yeah, resounding block there by Arnett. As a pass just out of the reach of Josh Borsch. But we saw good shots from both teams. We're going to take another look here at the basket. The only points recorded in this matchup by Julian Johnson. Gets inside, draws a little bit of contact, and gets the floater to drop. We saw both teams get good shots from the corner. Neither of them dropped, and then Arnett with an early defensive stop.
Bean with the floater, or the mid-range. That one doesn't go, and then fouled on the way down is Gavayan.
Going to take another look at it right here. Driving inside, free throw. Around the free throw line, and then Gavayan there with the offensive rebound. He was able to corral it. Got hacked on the way up. They get the foul on Julian Johnson, so that'll be the first foul of the game.
So Gavayan, a 10 points per game player, 64% from the charity stripe in his sophomore year, taking a big step in this Haddonfield lineup and knocks down both free throws to give Haddonfield their first 2 points of the game. So now Camardo taking this one up for the Knights, finds Johnson. Johnson moving inside, looking for the layup. Gets it off the backboard and in. Johnson, all 4 points for the Knights so far. It's now Haddonfield looking to respond.
And he's done a fantastic job of just taking what the defense is giving him. They're corralling him around the perimeter, but he's doing a nice job of just getting inside at will and has 2 baskets here early.
So now Gavayan finding Bean. Bean working here against Camardo, and Camardo gets called for a foul on the floor as we're going to take a look at the replay of the last basket.
And you see right here, Johnson just getting inside. Similar story to his first basket, gets a little bit closer to the rim and is able to use that right hand even though he's coming on the left side to score.
Pass out to the outside, Stadler for 3. That one doesn't go. Rebound by Borsch.
And as we talked about, a Haddonfield team that likes to shoot the ball a lot, they haven't been able to hit any shots from the perimeter. We'll have to see if that changes throughout the duration of this game. Still a lot of time, but coming out of the gate's a little cold.
Camardo finds Borsch. Borsch looking inside for Arnett. Arnett back out to the outside where it's Schmid. Schmid now working, finds Camardo. Camardo looking for the big man, Josh Borsch. He gets that one taken away from him. Good defense there by the Bulldogs. And now moving the other way is Duedoff. Duedoff looking underneath for Gavayan. Gavayan now putting this one up and knocking that one down. Dribbled around the rim for a second, but a nice shot by Gavayan. And now Sterling quickly back on the offense. Arnett now poised and ready, moving inside, looking for Borsch. Borsch bobbles it. That one on the ground. Haddonfield with possession. And now they're flying up the court once again. The Bulldogs charging up.
And the last 2 possessions offensively for Sterling have resulted in a turnover. Got to clean it up when passing the ball.
Now the Bulldogs, great perimeter passing, ends up with Gavayan. Now to Bean. Bean looking towards the outside where it's Douglas. Douglas puts that one up and knocks that one down.
And as we talked about earlier, a team that came slow out of the gate from beyond the arc is now finding their rhythm. That's their first 3-point make of the night.
Shot by Mike Douglas, one of the 13-point per game juniors on this Haddonfield squad, giving a lot of teams trouble around South Jersey. And now Sterling looking to answer back. Johnson cutting inside, nice step back floater. That one doesn't go. Rebound by Haddonfield. Bean now has it working here against Schmid. Bean trying to cut inside, looking towards the outside. Shifty moves by Haddonfield here, but that one taken away by Arnett. Arnett charging the other way, going against Douglas. Arnett with the layup. Does not go, but gets the foul drawn.
And Arnett, another defensive play here in this first quarter, getting the steal, driving inside, not shying away from contact. Doesn't get the shot to go, but a little bit of contact, and he goes to the free throw line to shoot 2.
So the foul there on Mike Douglas, the first foul of the game for Haddonfield. And now Arnett to the line to shoot 2 here for the Knights. Just misses his first. And Arnett is someone who's really taken a lot of steps forward this season, Jake. Someone who just really came into a lead scorer role for this Knights team, as you see the 13 points per game for him, and a breakout player for the Knights.
Yeah, absolutely. And he got a little bit of varsity time his sophomore year. His junior year last year was a pretty solid defensive player for the Knights and showed flashes of scoring. And now in his senior campaign, running the show offensively for the Knights, their leading scorer.
So Stadler now looking towards Bean. Bean now taking this one inside, looking for the layup, and gets that one down. Chris Bean finds his first 2 points of the game after dropping 20 on Sterling the last time, and Sterling now down by 5.
And I'm sure that's somebody that Coach Behringer is going to try and key in on, having 20 points and a miscommunication. Looked like Johnson slipped up a little bit. But taking a look at it, Bean driving inside, and look at the body control there. He slows himself down, extends his legs, and that really catches the defender out of position, and an easy layup there for Bean.
So now Gavayans almost slips up there. Johnson trying to capitalize, but a nice recovery, and now looks to the outside where it's Duedoff. Stadler now has it around the perimeter. Haddonfield setting up shop here. Sterling trying to play airtight defense. This one goes to Bean. Bean working inside. Back out to Douglas. Douglas ripping a three-pointer and knocking that one down.
And Sterling's just going to have to close out better on those three-point attempts. Now Douglas, that's his second three-point make, and both were from around the same spot. Definitely have to keep an eye out on him on the outside.
And Sterling falling to an early deficit of 8, which is something that they definitely did not want to be in at this moment.
Yeah, absolutely. But right now, it's just that somebody other than Julian Johnson has to contribute.
As Schmid tries to put up a 3, that one doesn't go. And now Bean looking to go the other way. Bean to the outside, where it's Stadler. Stadler putting up a three-pointer. That one doesn't go. Rebound by Marcus Johnson. Amari Key now taking this one up for the Knights. Finds Schmid. Schmid over to Johnson. And now Key is going to set up shop.
And as we talked about, somebody for the Knights has to get something going.
Amari Key from way downtown. That one doesn't go. Rebound by Bean.
Johnson has all 4 points for the Knights, and they haven't scored since about the 4-minute mark.
And Bean with a tough layup. And the timeout by Behringer. It's been all Haddonfield in this first quarter as they're up by 10 against the Knights.
Taking a look at this, and again, just elite footwork here from Chris Bean with the Euro step, good body control, takes some contact, and lays that one up and in over Julian Johnson. Great footwork there for number 2, the junior, Chris Bean.
And you can follow us on Twitter or X at Sterling TV Night C. We'll have live updates of all the games and, of course, all the fun and exciting things that happen around the castle. So make sure you guys go follow us on Twitter or X at Sterling TV 19.
Sterling alumni Jimmy Daniels there was, I believe, recently inducted into the Hall of Fame, coming out to support. I'm hearing Mr. K in my ear. He was into the Athletic Hall of Fame. Was a runner here at Sterling, then went to St. Joe's.
And look at that clean jacket there on our principal, Mr. Claiborne there, Jake. Whew.
I'm going to have to talk to him after the game, see if I can find out where I get one of those.
It's a baseball jacket is what we're hearing from Mr. K. That's a slick jacket. Travis Schmid now working the offense here for Sterling, where he finds Johnson. And again, as Jake said, all 4 points here in this first quarter have been scored by Johnson, so Sterling going to have to get hot somewhere else. Johnson finds Arnett. Arnett now moving inside, looking for the layup. That one doesn't go. Sterling has gone cold, and now Gavayan working by himself and lays that one in. Gavayan already has 6 in this matchup, along with Douglas, who has 6 as well, and Haddonfield now up by 12.
And we've just seen either missed shots or turnovers getting easy transition takes for Haddonfield, and another turnover right there.
And now Stadler going towards the rim. Good defense there by Johnson. They get the rebound though, and Douglas puts that one back. Sterling now finds himself in a deep hole, a 14-point deficit here in quarter number 1. Not the way they wanted to start this matchup. Is now Key working here, finds Arnett. Arnett with 18 seconds to go here in quarter number 1. Needs to try and get a score here for the Knights to try and switch the tide. Arnett finds Johnson. Johnson gonna take it inside, draws contact, draws the foul, but cannot get that one down. But we'll go to the line to shoot 2.
And hopefully this can be a bit of the end of the cold streak as we take a look at it. Johnson, who has all 4 points for the Knights, still attacking the rim. As you see on your screen there, 11 points per game and a solid free throw shooter at 83%.
So Johnson nails the first, tallying his 5th point of the night and also the 5th for the Knights. Haddonfield 18, Johnson 5, and Johnson now looking, trying to get another one. A nice rebound by his brother, Marcus Johnson, looking for the putback. That one doesn't go. 2 seconds left in quarter number 1. Bean now has it, looking for the half-court shot, and that one does not go. Early dominance here by the Bulldogs in quarter number 1, 18-5 the score. And we're gonna catch you guys on the flip side and go to break.
I'm so tired of entering all this discipline. I just wish there was something I could do.
We've got illegal use of the phone. Report to VPO.
Just signing the Minga.
No. No use of the Minga pass. Going back to classroom. Late for class. Violation. Illegal wearing of the hoodie, gray hoodie, that's a violation. Falling asleep in class, that's a violation. How many times am I gonna have to tell this to you?
Clearly more than that, old geezer.
Personal foul, speaking mean to a teacher, that's a violation.
And the sun sets on the castle as we are back here getting ready for some second quarter action between your Sterling Silver Knights and the Haddonfield Bulldogs, but an 18-5 deficit for the Knights here, Jake. And Coach Wiedemann's 499th win is looking, in picture here for the Bulldogs.
Still a lot of time left, a lot of ball game. You got 3 quarters left here for the Knights, but if the trend continues here for Sterling, they've just gotten flat out beat in transition with the Knights giving up either too many turnovers or not converting their shots, and the Bulldogs are not afraid to get out and run, and that's been their ability to succeed here today.
Missed 3-pointer by Douglas, but he gets the ball back after an offensive rebound. Now Haddonfield looking to go to work. Douglas now working against the Sterling defense, finds Bean. Bean fakes the shot. Rotating, great pass underneath. Haddonfield trying to handle it, but taken away there by Camardo. So good defense there by the Knights, looking to get a score here on the other side. Markey has it, finds Arnett. Back to Borsch. Borsch gonna rip a 3-pointer. That one's money! Cash money there from Josh Borsch. And one of Jake and my favorite players from last year cashing in on his first shot of the game.
And he's a guy, even though standing at 6'4", almost plays like a guard and shows he can score at all 3 levels there with the triple.
And then Douglas responds back. Douglas already at 10 in the evening. And Haddonfield still keeping that gap wide open between them and Sterling.
And Douglas has shown the jump shot time and time again. Somebody's got to get a hand up in his face and try and make it a little more difficult for him. He's had his way tonight with 10 points.
Borsch has it. Working in the post now, looking towards Arnett. A nice pass there from Borsch. And Arnett cashes in on the layup.
Great job there by Josh Borsch, working out of the high post. A good cut there from Arnett, and a nice pass leads to an easy layup. Now a 10-point ball game in the Knights trail.
Good movement here by the Bulldogs as now Stadler fakes a shot. This one gets over to Douglas, and now to Bean. Bean working against Camardo. Key was looking for the steal, and now the 3-pointer there from Duedoff, and that one solid from Jake Duedoff, cashing in for 3 points.
And as we talked about, this Bulldogs team, they're not afraid to shoot it, and they're shooting it pretty well here tonight. Sterling going to have to collapse down on the perimeter, and Duadoff letting the superfans know with a little bit of a celebration afterwards.
Arnett working here against Gavayan. Going to rip a three-pointer. That one does not go. Haddonfield's going to make a couple substitutions.
We're going to take another look at this right here. Good pass outside from Bean to Duadoff. And Bean, with the success he's had inside, draws that extra defender, leaves Duadoff wide open from the perimeter, and all 5 of these guys that Haddonfield rolls out in their starting lineup can all shoot the triple at a high clip, and you saw it right there with Duadoff being no exception.
Bean finds the newly subbed on Mooney. And he finds Douglas. Just great off-ball movement by the Bulldogs, giving Sterling's defense a little bit of trouble. A lot of wide open Bulldogs happening, and Bean now going towards the rim, does not cash in on the layup. And a great rebound by Johnson. Sterling trying to close its gap between the Bulldogs, starting with Amari Key.
And I like that defensively by Sterling. Good defensive stand.
Key looking for the layup. That one doesn't go. Rebound there by Mike Mooney. Good pass up to Bean. Bean now going towards the rim, gets fouled, and gets the and one. Chris Bean with the tough layup, as we're going to take a look at the replay.
And he's dominated inside all night tonight. You saw there, cut on the fast break, and then later in that sequence, got some contact around the rim. He's had shifty, crafty footwork around the rim, and he's done an excellent job of converting down low. So we're going to take one more look at it here. You see Key fell, hustled back on defense, but free throws up and good.
Chris Bean, 13 points per game, had 20 points in the big win against Sterling earlier on in this season, and still just doing such a great job against the Knights here. But now Borsch has it. Borsch finds Schmid, and this one goes back to Key. Key calling the play here. Him and Borsch do a give and go. He looks inside for Schmid. Schmid for the layup. That one doesn't go. Rebound by Douglas.
You don't get the basket there, but well drawn up play. Key finding Schmid, just couldn't convert down low. And at some point now, being down 16 with time dwindling off the clock in this first half, got to try and convert to try and make the lead not as a big of a margin.
This one out to Mooney. Mooney gonna try from 3 and cashes in. And a timeout called by Coach Behringer. This Haddonfield team, ever since we mentioned them coming out the gate cold, has just been shooting the lights out of this gymnasium, and Mooney is no exception.
And you saw right there just the late rotation by Amari Key. He left Mooney with too much space, Mooney with the catch and shoot, and he's able to knock it down, and now a 29-10 deficit for the home Sterling Knights.
And you can follow us on Facebook at Sterling Channel 19, where we have all the updates of what's happening here on Sterling Channel 19, all the updates around the castle, and just stuff you guys need to know. Make sure you guys go follow us on Facebook at Sterling Channel 19. So talk about a rough start here from the Knights. Find themselves down 19, and Jake, you know more than ever, I mean, one of our best basketball announcers we've seen here, and what does Sterling need to do to try and dig themselves out of this hole that they kind of got themselves into?
Well, they got to take it one possession at a time, Dan. I think that the Knights really, they just have to do a better job of playing slow, and right now they seem to be a little bit rushed. They're not converting on some easy looks, and they're also turning the ball over a lot, and as a result, Haddonfield is winning on the transition looks, and then they're also playing a little bit sloppy defensively, giving Haddonfield too much space, a team that we've talked about. They like to shoot. They're giving them a little too much space, and right now that slow start for Haddonfield has now amped up to a hot stretch where now they lead by 19.
Haddonfield 9-2 in their last 11 games, including the win over the Knights, and definitely keeping that momentum going here at the Castle, which Sterling has not lost in yet this season. So Johnson looking to get things started here for the Knights. Working here against Douglas. Johnson moving to the outside, a nice layup, and that was beautiful moves there by Julian Johnson to give Sterling 2 points.
Graceful spin there by Johnson, and a much-needed basket for the Knights to break this cold stretch.
Johnson, with the Knights having a cold stretch, finds himself with 7 points here, having himself a pretty good evening. As Haddonfield's ball movement just beautiful here in this possession against the Knights. Gavayan now has it, gonna rip a three-pointer. That one goes off the backboard, rebound by Johnson. So 3 minutes left to go here in quarter number 2. And that was almost a steal there by Scipone, but that one was called a foul. So take a look at the replay of the Johnson bucket.
And Johnson been one of the, really the only bright spots here for the Knights offensively. Coach Behringer looking to feed the hot hand right out of the timeout. He spins into the lane, converts down in the low post. Excellent job there from the senior leader, Julian Johnson.
There is Coach Wiedemann, again, in his 26th year, looking for win 500 tonight against the Knights. Or excuse me, looking for win 599 against the Knights. Looking for win 600 in another date. Arnett finds Johnson. Johnson to Camardo.
Again, we saw a pass deflected there. Sterling really needs to take better care of the ball in their half-court sets.
Camardo, a great feed to Schmid on the inside, and Schmid with the easy layup, but put on a silver platter there by Jason Camardo.
Yeah, the assist, not super flashy, but got it right where it needed to be.
And then Bean answers back immediately with 2 points of his own off of a beautiful assist from the corner.
And Haddonfield has been trying to move up-tempo all game, but now you're starting to see the Knights try and match them with that, trying to play up to the Bulldogs' speed.
Arnett looking for a pass. That one does not find the mark. Borsch has it, trying to use his strength to push past the press, finds Johnson. Johnson moving inside, looking towards Schmid. That one goes off of a Haddonfield player. So we'll take a look at the last basket here for the Knights.
And taking another look at it, Camardo driving inside. Beautiful find there by Jason Camardo to Travis Schmid, who was down on the low block. Excellent work from the floor general.
As he's going to inbound this pass here for the Knights, looking deep for Zion Arnett. He makes the catch, finds Borsch. Borsch going to take the space, rip a three-pointer. That one off the front rim. Rebound by Camardo. Looking for a pass there to Arnett. That one goes out of bounds. And I'm starting to see what you're saying here, Jake. Sterling does look very rushed on the offensive side of the ball right now.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that they're trying to play up to speed with Haddonfield.
And then Douglas goes, but misses the layup. Arnett using his speed, trying to take this one to the rim. A nice floater.
And that was the first time where Sterling really tried to push the pace, and it ended up benefiting them as they had numbers in transition, pushed the pace, and Arnett blew by the defense for the layup.
So a minute and 30 read here on the clock in quarter number 2. Haddonfield 31-16 leading the Knights, as now Douglas looking to rip a three. That one doesn't go. And it looks like there's going to be a foul called there, reaching over Camardo.
And there's still a lot of time left in this game, Dan, where if Sterling can just clean up the ball movement in their half-court sets and a couple of these shots that are makeable start to drop, we could see this being a pretty tight game going into the half.
So we're just approaching a minute left here in half number 1. Borsch has it, finds Arnett. Arnett moving inside, looking outside to Camardo. Camardo back to Schmid. Schmid going to rip a three-pointer. That one doesn't go. Rebound by Douglas. Douglas going to shift towards the hoop. A shifty layup and makes it. Nice moves by Mike Douglas. But now Johnson down in some pain.
Yeah, it looked like Johnson just couldn't slow down. Hopefully he's all right. Looks like he's okay. We're going to take another look at this here. Nice move inside. And then Johnson falls over and into the camera. He falls over Mike Douglas and then into our camera, but looked like he tripped over Douglas, hit the floor, was around the camera. Seems to be okay, and action resumes.
Nevertheless, shifty moves by Mike Douglas, who has 12 points on the evening, as Arnett misses his layup. Douglas gets the rebound.
And that's a shot right there that I think Zion Arnett wishes he had back. A pretty makeable layup, and when you're down, about to go into halftime with a pretty sizable deficit on the scoreboard, any points are good points.
So Haddonfield, good ball movement here. 20 seconds read on the clock in quarter number 2. Trying to go into halftime with this lead that they have or more. Douglas now working against Camardo. 12 seconds remain. Now Mooney, who finds Bean. Bean, 6 seconds. 5 seconds remain here for Bean. Bean looks like he's going to take this one himself. Bean towards the basket, makes the layup. But I think that one's on the floor, and the call is on Travis Schmid.
So we're going to take another look at it. And again, Bean has just gotten inside at will tonight for the Haddonfield Bulldogs. Done a good job of penetrating the lane, getting inside, and being able to score.
So now inbounding it will be Mike Douglas. 1.2 seconds remain, looking inside, and they nail it. Count the basket for Gavayan. Pure dominance from the Haddonfield Bulldogs in half number one, as we're going to take a look at the final replay.
And to have any momentum going to the half for Sterling, you would just think you could stop it with 1.2 seconds, but Haddonfield full throttle, and it was all Bulldogs in that first half, Dan.
35-16. We're going to catch you guys in half number two.
Yo, what's up? How the you doing? Oh, good, I guess. What have you been up to?
Oh, you know, this, that, everything.
You know, like, yeah, of course, yeah. Well, it's nice seeing you. I'm gonna get going now. All right. Out of here. I'll see you.
Hey.
Hey, Rudy.
Is that Brody over there? How's he doing?
I don't even know.
What made you become a bully?
Twerk! Twerk!
Whoa, nice one, man. You should start hanging with me.
Okay.
Yo, Danny, look at this. Go show him who's boss.
Hey.
Huh? Danny, go to VPO. No!
Well, you know, Mr. Jericho, I guess it started with peer pressure.
I'm out of beer! Well, we need to go get some more. It's still dry. Yeah, let's go!
Dude, take the seatbelts off. What are we doing? Yeah, you're right.
I'm ready to drive. Yeah!
Don't drink and drive.
Bad decision. Not wearing a seatbelt while driving increases fatal injuries by 78%. Hitting the windshield without a seatbelt feels like getting knocked out by an Olympic heavyweight boxer. Four times. The initial impact of a car crash is multiplied without a seatbelt. It feels like being tackled by 3 defensive backs running at full speed.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Good choice. Buckle up. It's not worth being a statistic.
Hey! Stop that, bully!
Are you begging for a knuckle sandwich, twerp?
Maybe I am.
Nice try, twerp.
Please, hamburger, please help me. He's bullying me. You're right. I need to help you. I'm the anti-bully.
Oh my god, thank you. Oh, yes, King.
Hey, Liz. What's up? Hey, Maddie.
Why are you wearing Crocs?
They're so comfortable. You should really get a pair.
Maddie, take them off. They're so ugly.
Three days later.
Hi. Hey. You're wearing Crocs? You're wearing sneakers? I thought you said those were ugly.
Well, I guess they are kind of comfy.
Where were you? You were supposed to meet me at my locker.
I had to get my books.
Let's go.
Where are we going?
Don't worry about it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sterling Channel 19 as we are just getting ready for some second half action between the Haddonfield Bulldogs and your Sterling Silver Knights. But Haddonfield with a big lead over your Sterling Silver Knights as we take a look at the leading scores for that first half. Julian Johnson led the way for the Knights with 7, Josh Borsch with 3, and Zion Arnett had 4. And then for the Haddonfield Bulldogs, it was all Mike Douglas with 12 points, and then Chris Bean and Ryan Gavan added support with 8 apiece. We're going to take a look at the Mike Douglas highlights from that first half, and Jake just nonstop shooting from the perimeter.
Yeah, he did a tremendous job with the jump shot. That seems to be his hot spot there, the right wing. He knocked down 2 in the first half from that spot. We're going to take a look at it. Bean gets it, kicks it out. Same spot, same result here for Douglas. Good shot there from the perimeter. He was grabs a rebound here with the outlet pass and then gets it up to Gavayan.
And I was just about to mention that Jake also doing it on the defensive side as well, has a ton of rebounds for this Haddonfield squad, and number 10 has just been on fire tonight against the Knights, and it's been pretty hard to put him out.
See there, he elevates around the free throw line.
And Jake, the Sterling Superfans group that was very hype has kind of died down because of this, and we're going to take a look at Sterling's side of the story, and it was basically all Julian Johnson, although he didn't have much, and Sterling really couldn't help him out.
Yeah, 7 points in that first half out of Sterling's 16. Really the only bright spot offensively for the Knights and the only consistency for Sterling, and he's done it by driving inside. A lot of what he did last year was he was able to shoot the ball from the perimeter. This year, or at least here tonight, driving inside, getting his baskets at the rim, which is showcasing that he can score inside and from outside beyond the arc. A true player that can score at all three levels.
So thank you all for tuning in here. I'm Daniel Leakin, joined by Jay Clark, getting ready for the Haddonfield versus Sterling Classic second half, and Sterling's going to have to do a lot to dig themselves out of this big deficit.
Well, and as we talked about, both meetings from these teams last year, obviously a pretty much whole new lineup for Haddonfield. Sterling bringing back a lot of the same guys, but around the second half was when things got bad for the Knights and Haddonfield started to run away with it. We'll have to see if that flips here, and Sterling couldn't really get anything going in the first, but maybe they mount a comeback here in the second and reverse the tale of last year. We'll have to see how the story unfolds here in the second half in just a moment.
So Sterling breaking the huddle, Haddonfield doing the same, and this gym that was bumping, to say the least, when we first got in here is now really died down. Haddonfield put Sterling's superfans to a hush, and looks like Sterling's rolling out here with Julian Johnson, Amari Key, Azan Arnett, Travis Schmidt, and Jason Camardo to start out this second half. Looks like Haddonfield is just rolling with their starting five, being Duedorf, Gavayan, Stadler, and Douglas. So we're off.
If you're Haddonfield, why not? I mean, had a ton of success in that first half, and we'll have to see if it translates into the second.
So Arnett gets in trouble, finds Johnson from beyond the arc, does not go. Rebound there by Arnett. Arnett puts one up and gets that one in. Good start there by Arnett. Sterling's going to need to play some defense, though, against these high hands from the Bulldogs.
Hey, great job by Arnett getting those second chance points.
And nice defense there by the Knights. Arnett now soaring up the court, going up against two Haddonfield players. Great defense, though, and now they go the other way. Duedorf, with only Camardo to beat, puts up a layup and gets that one in.
And we saw right there, Arnett with a bit of a forced shot in transition against two defenders leads the easy offense there for the Bulldogs at the hands of Duedorf.
So Arnett has it. Gets it to Johnson, foul on the floor there. That one's going to be called on Chris Bean for the first of the half.
You saw it right there, pretty much just easy going there for Duedorf.
And once again, Jake, capitalized off of a turnover from the Knights, which was really another big story in that first half for their offense.
Yeah, we didn't get to it during the halftime break, but Sterling has to be able to keep better control of the ball. A lot of bad passes. Some of them haven't resulted in turnovers. A lot of them have, and that's led to Haddonfield just getting a lot of easy looks in transition.
So Camardo has it. Working here against this Haddonfield defense that only lets up 44 points per game, and definitely pairing well against the Sterling offense tonight. Just kind of keeping them to the outside. Amari Key looks like he's going to set up shop here, finds Johnson. Johnson trying to find the open Knight. Camardo moves inside. Looks like Johnson didn't see him. He finds Schmidt instead. Schmidt back to back to Johnson. Johnson now soaring inside. Nice right hand layup and great body control there by Johnson, who has 9 on the night.
Tremendous job there by Sterling, not forcing it and getting Johnson now his 9th points of the night, but still trailing by a large margin on the scoreboard, and they got to move a little bit faster in their half-court sets.
And it looks like Haddonfield somehow gets possession of this ball and draws a foul on Johnson.
Take a look. Nice job by Johnson. 2 defenders in proximity. Goes up strong with the right hand and right off the glass in for 2 points.
So now the inbound pass here for the Bulldogs. This one goes straight to Douglas. Douglas working here against Arnett. Arnett right in his face, and a turnover calls there by the tight Sterling defense, trying to change the tide here against the Bulldogs.
Nice job by Johnson just to be in the pocket of his man and forced a bit of a miscommunication there by Haddonfield. A much needed turnover for the Knights if they want to try and go on a run here.
Arnett gonna work inside, slips and falls, and now going the other way is gonna be Haddonfield. Looks like Douglas did the same, but gets the ball off to Duedorf. Duedorf now to the outside, finds Gavayan, and now resets up to Douglas. Douglas working against Camardo. Gets out to Stadler. He looks inside to Bean. Great passing by the Bulldogs, and a foul called there on Amari Key.
Tremendous pass here. We're going to take another look at it on the replay. They get it to Bean out of the high post. He gets it to Duadoff. Lots of contact there from Key. Prevents the layup, but now a chance at 2 from the charity stripe here for Jake Duadoff.
Duadoff, the lone senior on this Haddonfield lineup, the only singular one I see here on my sheet, and definitely someone who has some big shoes to fill after last year's seniors. So I'm going to introduce a very good friend of ours here at Sterling Channel 19, someone we talk to quite often, Mr. Ken Sayano. Mr. Sayano, how's it going? No, Mr. Sayano, we can't hear you, but I can. Oh, there we go. Now we can hear you. Mr. Sayano, how's it going?
You can hear me? There we go. I'm doing great. How you doing here?
It's good,
the
man.
score is a little bit different, but
yeah, there's only so much we can do here, and the Knights have kind of slipped against the Haddonfield Bulldogs here, and I'm sure, nevertheless, we are going to have a Ken Sayano question here for us in the broadcast booth.
oh, I'm always prepared for that. First, I want to say hi to my wife and kids who are watching at home right now. Hi, guys. You let me know when you're ready for the question.
All right, we are going to keep it going here as Sterling now back on the offensive here. Key working on Bean. Key going to the inside. A nice shifty move there by Amari Key against a Chris Bean defender who is so good.
Fantastic work there from Amari Key. Drives right inside, gets by the defense, and now the Superfans with a little bit of life here after that basket.
And a block there by Camardo, but it looks like the foul will be called as we're going to take a look at the last basket.
Nice cross, you see, just gets by Chris Bean, the primary defender, for the easy layup. And they get the foul on Camardo.
And Mr. Sayano, Amari Key hasn't played a lot of games this season for the Knights so far, but has come up big in a lot of big moments. Describe, as a coach, how much that energy would mean for you, coming into the team halfway through the season.
Yeah, so he's the freshest one right now. Even though he's a senior, he has the freshest legs. So he's able to provide that energy on a daily basis. He does a great job of it.
So now Haddonfield, looks like it's Stadler, makes his first and looking to make his second, and he knocks it down, making both his free throws. So now Amari Key finding Arnett. Arnett back to Key. Good movement here by the Knights.
Gotta look to push the tempo a little bit here.
Yeah, absolutely. Down on the scoreboard, as Mr. Sayano points out. They got to move with a little bit of urgency here in their half-court set. They still trail big on the scoreboard, and time is not on their side to try and mount a comeback.
Right now, Haddonfield's playing against the clock, not
Arnett
Sterling.
for 3,
there we go.
Knocks that one down. Zion Arnett, when you need him most, he comes through. And now Sterling needing to play some big defense here against the Bulldogs.
Huge shot there by Arnett, and great passing in the half court. Big basket there for the Knights.
This one to the outside. Stadler looking for 3. That one doesn't go. Rebound by Schmid. Mr. Sano says, let's go, push the tempo. Jake agrees.
Here we go. Here it is.
Johnson moving up and laying that one in.
Let's go.
Sterling closing the gap here against the Bulldogs.
And now some life on the bench and in the crowd here for Sterling. Going on a bit of a run.
Yes, guys, yes.
Big defense here. Great hustle. But Travis Schmidt comes up with it. Settle down here, and Amari Key settles it down, but now moving up. Amari Key taking this one to the hoop. Floats that one. That one doesn't go. Douglas moving up. Camardo picks his pocket, gets on that one, but timeout called by Haddonfield. And the Superfans and the bench are juiced.
You can hear the energy in here.
This is the intensity we need.
You can hear Mr. Sayano with the energy, and you can see Julian Johnson bringing the energy there for the Knights with a big basket, and then great defense by Jason Camardo to force the timeout.
All right, it's question time, Mr. Sayano. Hit us with it here.
Here we go. I'm going NBA here.
NBA. This is Jake's territory.
Okay, so we're going to go with the first player in NBA history to lose the finals but win finals MVP.
I'm looking right at Jake for this one.
Oh, Jake looks like he's really straining right now. I
think the only player to do it would be Jerry West. And that's going to be my guess there, is Jerry West, the logo.
Are you locked in with Jerry West?
I'll lock it in.
I'm riding with Jake on this one, so I'll lock that in as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Now, can you tell me the year? Because since you know everything now, what's the year?
Oh, jeez.
It would probably be sometime in the 70s. My guess
Very
would be
close.
My guess would be 79.
Oh, I think it's
Little
way
lower.
earlier. 68 would be my guess, yeah.
69.
Oh.
So I was
Great
off,
job, Daryl. Great
off by 10
job.
years, but
Big turnovers here by Sterling, nevertheless. But it looks like Camardo got a call, and
yeah, Camardo's going to get called with a technical here. We're going to take another look at it. Great defense. And then this is what we were talking about pregame, the team that can compose themselves. Just a mistake there from Jason Camardo, who's been on bigger stages than this with the Group 2 final and soccer and all of that. But now he steps over Stadler.
But I don't think that was necessarily a step over. I think that was more of him trying to get over Stadler. We're going to take another look at the replay here.
We're going to take a look at it. Great defense.
Yeah.
Camardo definitely could have went around him, and I understand the officials thinking, and obviously can't disrespect another player like that in such a flamboyant fashion.
So we're going to take another look at it here, and Jake does make a good point. Could have went around him. Definitely was hyped up in the moment, though, and the officials are going to call that on Camardo. So a big moment for the Knights. Lost there, and they find themselves in a hole again.
And
For me, it was the clapping there. It was the clapping that kind of gave it away.
And that sort of slows down this momentum. The Knights were going on a run, and then coming out of the timeout, you make a big play, but then you give the momentum right back to Haddonfield receiving the technical.
Douglas in the corner, does not go. Rebound by Mooney, and he lays that one in.
Got to get a body on somebody here. Can't afford those second chance points.
Yeah, Mooney was left all alone, as Mr. Ciano points out. Nobody there to contest to even try and get the rebound for Sterling. He had an easy layup off the second chance for two.
Got to get this down to single digits before the end of the quarter.
So Johnson finding Schmid. Schmid finds Johnson. Johnson working one-on-one here, looking to cut back. Good defense by Stadler.
Looks like Haddonfield's in his zone here. Sterling gonna have to try and move the ball a little bit quicker on the perimeter to get an open shot.
This one tipped by Douglas. Camardo retains. Back to Johnson. Johnson moving inside, finds Schmid. Schmid absorbing the contact and almost finishing on the layup.
Guys, this would be a different game if we made our layups tonight.
We're gonna take another look at it. Johnson, great pass to Schmid, takes some contact, can't convert, but the next best thing is going to the free throw line, and we'll have to see if his 93% can get a little bit of a boost here on this time around.
First shot cashes in there for Schmid. Trying to close this gap here. We're at a 14-point deficit between Haddonfield and Sterling. Crowd gone silent. Schmid looking to make his second, and he does. Now, Mr. Ciano, your first AD home basketball game here against Haddonfield. Describe the atmosphere in the gymnasium.
It's intense. All right, I had to give my little pregame speech to our super fans to make sure that they're behaving. But I think they're doing a great job. They're bringing a lot of energy, and it's just a great environment. Haddonfield Sterling is always a great game.
All right, Mr. Ciano, we want to thank you for coming on to the broadcast for your little AD check-in here on Sterling Channel 19. Hello to Mrs. Ciano and the kids, and we will talk to you soon.
Love that. Thank you so much, guys. I'll talk to you.
Thank you, Mr. Ciano. So Gavayan knocks down his first free throw. An awesome addition to the broadcast that we added. You know, adding Mr. Ciano onto here is so much fun with our little in-game check-ins, but we missed a lot of big moments here, and Gavayan misses his second.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. I love the trivia question each and every broadcast that I've been a part of since Mr. Ciano has done that. I think it's great. But as we get back to the action, another turnover there for Sterling. They're really going to have to just, again, time and time again, I feel like a broken record, but they got to clean up the ball movement.
Douglas. Coach Weideman telling them to slow it down here. Trying to shut down the Sterling team. Gavayan now has it. Working up top, finds Bean. Bean working inside. Great move there by Tummings. They put the floor defender on the court with Julian Tummings, and he's done a great job for the Sterling defense thus far.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Dan. Didn't get any minutes in the first.
He did not, and Arnett misses the three-pointer.
So came in cold off the bench and has done a tremendous job of just playing tough defense, which is what I'm sure Coach Behringer was asking him to do at this stage of the game.
And that's really what he does. I'd say Tummings is one of their best defenders on the team. With 9 seconds to go here, Haddonfield looking for one final shot. Gavayan has it, pressured here by Arnett. It looks like he stepped out of bounds. So again, time ticking away here, 4.4 seconds. Haddonfield gonna move back, no pressure. Omari Key moving now, 2 seconds to go, 1 second. Omari Key looking for the shot. That one goes in! He beats the buzzer in a big shot to end the third quarter. Omari Key giving Sterling some juice at the end of quarter number 3. And man, what a shot.
Yeah, just not afraid to be great. Lets it go right at the buzzer, knocks it down for 3, and gives the Knights some life going into the fourth.
43-32, fourth quarter action coming up after this.
Bad decision. Not wearing a seatbelt while driving increases fatal injuries by 78%. Hitting the windshield without a seatbelt feels like getting knocked out by an Olympic heavyweight boxer. Four times. The initial impact of a car crash is multiplied without a seatbelt. It feels like being tackled by 3 defensive backs running at full speed.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Good choice. Buckle up. It's not worth being a statistic.
And welcome back to Sterling Channel 19. The super fans alive, and just when it felt like it was over for the Sterling Knights, they had a really, really good third quarter.
Yeah, had some moments there where they took a little bit of momentum. The super fans got back into it, and now, Dan, just an 11-point game here. Things weren't all Haddonfield in that first half, but that third quarter belongs to the Knights.
Douglas, guarded here by Arnett, finds Gavayan. Schmid guarding him tightly. Sterling now pressing on to this Haddonfield team, playing with a lot of physicality. Schmid on Gavayan. Gavayan working inside, putting up a layup, and the tough layup there from Ryan Gavayan as he finds points number 10 and 11. Camardo fakes the shot, moves inside. A nice layup, it gets fouled on the way up. Shifty moves there from the guard, but we're going to take a look at the Gavayan layup first.
And it really just looked like Ryan Gavayan got the angle there on Travis Schmid and got a little bit quicker to the basket, and Schmid just couldn't cut him off, and that resulted in 2 points there for Gavayan.
Camardo misses his first. Again, a 4-point-per-game player, but provides a lot more on the court. I mean, 2 assists a game, 2 rebounds a game, and one of Sterling's best defenders in terms of getting steals with almost 2 steals per game. So he makes it. Sterling now down by only 12. Douglas guarded heavily here by Arnett. Gavayan by Schmid. Gavayan now works the ball over to Mooney. Mike Mooney working on Omari Key, 11 on 11. This one finds Gavayan. Gavayan back to Douglas, and Haddonfield's going to reset.
And Sterling's going to have to force some turnovers. The Bulldogs really taking their time trying to drain clock.
This one goes inside to Stadler. Great ball movement. Gavayan fakes the shot, moves inside, tries to find Bean, and looks like a charging foul called there on Gavayan.
Going to take another look at this right here. Gavayan driving inside. Great job here by Julian Johnson, putting his body on the line and taking the charge. Senior leadership right there for number 3, Julian Johnson of the Sterling Knights.
Amari Key, a deep three-pointer. That one does not go. Now Haddonfield moving up. A nice pass to Douglas. Douglas to Mooney. And Mooney moves back. Good passing here by Haddonfield and off of the miss by Amari Key, which, you know, to me, Jake, felt just a little bit too rushed.
Yeah, it definitely felt like a forced shot from well beyond the arc, trying to take some of that momentum, get a big basket. But right now, Sterling has to play smart basketball and try and go on a bit of a run. Nice shot there by Douglas.
Douglas just shutting down the Sterling team here. 14 points on the night. Johnson to Camardo, back to Key, who finds Arnett. Sterling working beyond the arc right now. Key working inside, cuts back out. Was looking for Camardo. That one swapped away by Douglas. Douglas now moving towards the basket and gets that one in.
And that's the advantage of when you play zone. You're not stuck man on man, just looking at one guy. You have the ability to see all avenues of the floor. Douglas had the chance to get a hand on it, got the steal and an easy layup.
Key finds Camardo. Camardo to Arnett. And a timeout called there by Coach B. So Sterling, once they found some life, Haddonfield does such a good job of this in general, Jake, completely shut that down. You can follow us on Instagram at SterlingTV19, where we have all the behind-the-scenes shots of what happens here on Sterling TV 19, stuff about what Mr. K is doing in his life, and much, much more. Make sure you guys go follow us on Instagram at Sterling TV 19. So a great showing from the Superfans tonight, probably the most we've had in a crowd all year. Kiddo in the crowd with our tech room member Nate as well in the background. And Sterling is going to need a lot to try and come back here. I mean, relatively early here in this fourth quarter, Jake, but Haddonfield still just doing so well on the defensive side of the ball, shutting things down.
When they're a team that's so fundamental and they never take their foot off the gas, from the opening tip-off to the final buzzer, they're a team that goes out and plays with 100% heart and 100% effort. No matter if they're up by 20, down by 20, they don't take their foot off the gas because, as we saw, Sterling went on a little bit of a run and brought themselves back into this game, and head coach Paul Wiedemann knows that this team is explosive for the Knights, trying to keep them and put them down and out now.
Camardo now has it, finds Johnson, who finds Key. Key back to Johnson. Perimeter passing here for the Knights as Zion Arnett tries to go in, and a steal there from Chris Bean. Bean working the 2-on-1 here. Bean goes in and puts that one up. Big energy from the Haddonfield Bulldogs, and Bean has 10 on the evening. Johnson now resets, finds Camardo.
And another example of a poor pass and a turnover leading to transition offense there for the Bulldogs. And I think when it's all said and done, we're really going to look at the turnover stats from this contest.
Arnett to Johnson, back and forth between those two. Schmid finds Camardo. Camardo now working inside, looking towards Arnett on the outside. Great passing there, but another turnover by the Knights. Moving up is Bean. Bean against Johnson. Johnson fouls on the way up. And Bean will go to shoot two.
Yeah, we're going to take a look right here at Bean. Draws the contact, and again, we've called his name time and time again for the Bulldogs. Getting to the line. It was Stadler that got fouled in transition. So he'll go to the line. 73% from the charity stripe, as you see on your screen. 7 points per game as a junior. And as we talked about, a lot of this Haddonfield team is young. As you mentioned, Dan, only one senior on the list, and that's Jake Duedoff. The rest are underclassmen on this varsity lineup. So this team, in what was expected to be a rebuilding year, has come out and shocked everybody in the Colonial Conference, and they're going to be good for years to come.
And you know, Jake, shocked is definitely the right word for it, but at the same time, with Coach Paul Wiedemann in his 26th year, has coached a lot of Haddonfield teams. As we mentioned, all the accolades, 5 state championships, 7 South Jersey titles, 16 Colonial Conference titles. I don't think, you know, a team of young players and making them into, you know, really, really good players, it was a shock to anyone, really. As now Key puts up a 3-ball and knocks that one down.
And now Sterling's got to resort to the press and a miscommunication.
But just missing there is Gavayan, and Sterling will get possession back. Still some time left on the clock, just about halfway through, and there's the three-pointer there by Amari Key.
But to finish the thought, I mean, Sterling going to have to resort to the press to try and get back into this game, force some turnovers, and will their way back to try and make it a little more competitive here against the Bulldogs.
Tummings gets fouled there by Stadler. So Stadler picks up his first foul. And there are the two coaches here left. It's Paul Wiedemann, 26 season, looking for win 599. And then for Behringer on the right, looking to will Sterling back into this matchup. So Key has it. Finds Camardo. Arnett all the way across to Tummings, who finds Key. Key in the corner. Just misses. Quick aggression there, but it looks like a foul called on Julian Tummings. Douglas with a great feed there to Mooney. Mooney now moving up the court here for Haddonfield. Finds Gavayan. Goes all the way to Bean. And now to Stadler. Stadler, the three-point shooter, just misses. And a great rebound and putback by Gavayan. 13 points for him on the night.
And right now for Sterling, with Haddonfield running this zone, they got to do a bit of a better job of just moving the ball quickly to try and get somebody freed up, force Haddonfield into a late rotation, get a shot. But on the offensive side for the Bulldogs, as there's another turnover for the Knights.
And just that's been the story of this game, has been the turnovers. Douglas now finds Bean. Back to Douglas, and Haddonfield's going to take their time, but Gavayan right alone in the middle, and he finds his 15th point of the night.
So now a 20-point contest. Haddonfield just running away with this one.
This one finds Arnett. Arnett puts up the three-pointer. That one doesn't go. Rebound by Haddonfield. So Sterling is going to lose their first game at home here against Haddonfield, and their chances for the division have just been completely thrown out the windows. Now Mooney's going to try for a three-pointer of his own. Just misses. Rebound there by Bean, who puts that one up. Completely out of the window for Sterling, so they're going to try and just play for power points and hopefully host a home playoff game.
And in this stretch right now, Sterling's getting killed on the boards.
Camardo puts up a three-pointer. That one doesn't go. Good hustle there by Tummings. Camardo hustling on the floor. But Haddonfield comes up with it. And it looks like Douglas gets fouled around midcourt.
Another look at it right there, just wide open. Was lucky to get the miss, but then nobody boxes out Chris Bean, and he's able to get another offensive rebound and put it up. And while the game might be out of reach, the Knights really seem just defeated. Just totally defeated. And even though they're out of it, it's about competing, and there's still time on the clock. And right now, it just looks like some of the bench guys have gotten in, but the starters just couldn't get the job done here today.
No. It looked all 32 minutes, maybe apart from, I'd say 4 of those minutes, were completely Haddonfield dominated. And it looks like Coach Wiedemann's going to pick up his win 599 en route to win 600. We're going to try to talk to him after the game. He calls a timeout.
So again, win number 599 on the way, and it just shows you how good this Haddonfield program is. As we talked about, a team that kind of came in under the radar, wasn't expected to do a whole lot, is now at the top of the division, and they're clearly handling a conference opponent here in Sterling, up now by over 20 points late into this contest.
And there's Coach Behringer talking to his substitutions while the starters' Knights are finished. And Sterling is going to have to regroup here against Haddon Heights. Going to come into the Castle. We have not played them at home just yet. That's going to be a big team where Sterling's going to have to get the better of them to really try and put themselves in a good position for power points.
Well, just taking a look at the PowerPoints bracket right now, Haddon Heights 6th in Group 2 PowerPoints with an 11-6 overall record.
And Sterling, very, very close in skill with them. Sterling only lost by 1 when we played them at Haddon Heights, so they're going to look to turn the tide at home. That's going to be a week from tonight is when we will play the Garnets. And Tuesday will be a boy-girl doubleheader, which will be a fun one. I don't think that's ever happened here on Sterling Channel 19 where we've had 2 games in the span of one day. 10 years ago that happened, but we will have a boys and girls doubleheader this Tuesday. Girls basketball will be at 5:30 and boys basketball will be at 7. Max Zubek and I will be on the call.
So another offensive rebound there for the Bulldogs. They're just going to hold it with the last 20 seconds or so on the clock.
And what a win for the Bulldogs. They go up to 15-4, 7-1 in the Colonial Liberty. Sterling goes to 10-8, and then 4-4 in the Colonial Liberty. And just such a big guy for that man we had on our screen previously, Coach Wiedemann, who we will speak to in the postgame.
Now it's official, win number 599, but the Knights drop this one, and we'll have post-game coverage here on Sterling Channel 19 after this.
Hey, Liz. What's up? Hey, Maddie.
Why are you wearing Crocs?
They're so comfortable. You should really get a pair.
Maddie, take them off. They're so ugly.
Three days later.
Hi. Hey. You're wearing Crocs? You're wearing sneakers? I thought you said those were ugly.
Well, I guess they are kind of comfy.
Suicide is no joke. On average, one person commits suicide every 16 minutes. It's the 10th leading cause of death in America. It's also the 3rd leading cause of death for teens and adults ages 15 to 24. Depression is the leading cause of suicide. About 2/3 of people who commit suicide are depressed. Each suicide affects at least 6 other people. If you think someone is considering suicide, don't leave the person alone. Talk to them. Contact a teacher, a parent, a counselor, a coach, or a friend.
Speak up. You might save a life. It might even be my life.
Speak up. Save a life. Prevent suicide.
Do you want these? You definitely want these, right? I really think you want these cookies.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
No. No. No.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and said that's all I'll ever be. Told me I'd never amount to anything. Or help anyone. but I didn't listen. I found my way. And now, I'm what I always wanted to be.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sterling Channel 19. The Knights drop a tough loss to the in-conference Haddonfield Bulldogs here, 58-36 at the Castle. It's Sterling's first loss at home on the season, and that'll probably drop them in the PowerPoint standings. They were sitting at 8th, where if the season ended today, they would have taken on Gloucester as the 9th seed. They would have hosted a home playoff game. And speaking of games, our next TV game here Tuesday, February 4th, it's a basketball doubleheader at 5:30. Sterling girls basketball will take on Gateway, and at 7 p.m., Sterling boys basketball will take on the Collingswood Panthers. You can find both of those games live here on Sterling Channel 19, youtube.com/SterlingTV19. So again, if you're just tuning in, Haddonfield winning this one 58-36. They were 4th overall in the Group 2 PowerPoint standings behind Middle Township, Camden, and Cinnaminson entering tonight's contest. Head coach Paul Wiedemann, who we'll have here on the broadcast in just a moment, notching win, number 599. Take a look at the standings right there. Haddonfield 4th in the standings, 22 power points with now a 15-4 record. Sterling probably going to slide a little bit, but might gain some power points out of this loss. 19 as it stands. They are now 10-8. And we're about ready to send things over to Dan Leakin here with the post-game interviews. Dan, take it away.
What's up, everyone? I'm here with Ryan Gavay, and now, man, you had such a great game, dominant in the paint. How do you feel about, the victory today over the Knights?
It feels great. Always a good win to get over Sterling, Key, their big matchup when coming into this game, we just had to get it done, and it's what we did today.
Now, coming into this year, you guys were a lot younger than a lot of the other schools. Only one senior rostered, and, a lot of people were kind of looking down on you guys, thinking that, Haddonfield won't be as good. But you guys have kind of proved that wrong, and what has gone into that? What have you guys done at practice, as a team that has really, made you guys stronger?
Well, our coach has been saying that, we're one of the youngest teams, and we just want to go out there and prove everyone that we can still go out and play like everyone else and then just compete as a team and play together.
Now, season's not over for you guys. You guys have done a great job in the Colonial Liberty, and you guys are definitely looking forward to much bigger things. And, what do you feel the aspirations are for this team this year and just how far you guys will go?
Everyone wants to go for it all, so that's what we got there.
Now, I don't know if you know this, but it was Coach Wiedemann's 599th win today, and how much has he helped you develop your game and really just take this team to another level?
Yeah, as a sophomore, he's helped me a lot throughout the past freshman year, just getting up there, getting ready for this kind of level, this kind of play. It's kind of helped, but I'm really excited for his 600th win.
I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Great game.
Thank you.
So I'm going to wait in just a couple more moments, and I'm going to try and get Mike Douglas and Coach Wiedemann on the broadcast here in just a few moments.
Is this seat taken? Yes, it is. Well, what about this one? What about this one? They're all taken. Well, where am I supposed to sit? Not with us. Go sit over there.
What's up, guys? I'm here with Mike Douglas. Now, Mike, just absolute complete dominance from you, shooting from beyond the arc, doing it inside, and just how does it feel to get a big win over, a division rival like Sterling?
It's huge, and coming into the game, they had to win this game so they could stay in the division, and we just knew coming into Sterling, the fans were going to be crazy. It's a huge win, and we just put them away right away, and that's just all we thought about all week, really, and yeah.
Now, I've asked this question before. I'm going to ask you again. You're one of the team leaders on this team. 13 points per game. Definitely someone who is just one of the better scorers on this team. But you're also on the younger side, just like a lot of the kids on this roster. And, what about your youth, gives you kind of an advantage over the other teams sometimes?
Just people looking down at me, underestimating me, and just like if they come up on me, I'm just going to go by them. And they think I'm slow, not athletic, and I just show them that I am athletic and that I can really play with the other people.
And now, you were someone that didn't touch varsity much last year, and Coach Wiedemann has really developed this team into one oiled machine, and that was win 599 for him. And talk about how much he has impacted you on your career, thus far.
He's impacted me a lot. He's given me a lot of confidence. He gave me the green light, and just telling us that we got to play harder and harder and just pushing and transition, everything, and yeah.
Now, if there's one thing we know about the Bulldogs is they're going to continue to eat, and there's a lot more in store for you guys. What do you think you guys are in store for the rest of this season?
Hopefully just to win. Playoffs coming up, and we just got to stay focused and just get these last 5 wins, or 5 or 6 wins. We just got to stay focused and be ready for playoffs.
Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Great game. And then last but certainly not least, it's going to be Coach Wiedemann. Now, just an amazing game from him and his team, and I'm sure you must be feeling really good after getting such a big win over the Knights.
I'm just so proud of our guys. We have a young group. We're in almost the second half of the season, and we're getting better. And these guys really look out for each other. They're very enthusiastic for each other. they want each other to do well, and they don't care who gets the credit. So it was on full display tonight. These guys worked super hard on the defensive end tonight, and that was a big difference.
Now, Coach Wiedemann, 26 years in this, high school basketball industry, win 599, and I'm sure the game has changed so much around you as time has went on. And how do you, adapt to that change and, overcome it as the years and years go on?
You adapt, but I still think kids want to be coached hard. They still want accountability. They still want discipline. So, I changed maybe how I run our sets to who our personnel is, but I still have my core values that I'm not going to change just because I'm getting older and these guys are still young. So I'm not changing that.
That's a great response. And the Haddonfield went from a very senior dominant team last year to a team with only one senior on it. And as a coach, how do you, teach these kids that they can be just as good, if not better, than teams last year, and something that makes this group so special is their youth?
Well, they still wear the same uniform. It says Haddonfield on or Haddons. So if you're going to put that uniform on, you know what you are capable of doing and the potential, and we trust that you can continue what our program has been about. And they have the confidence. I mean, these guys were undefeated for their JV team last year. They were good. And I know people say, well, you lost your top 7 guys from last year, and this is a rebuilding year. That's not in our vocabulary. That's not what we do at Haddonfield. And these guys really bought in from last summer up until, like I said, now January 30th, and they're just getting better. So I'm very excited about this young group.
Thank you for coming on, Coach Wiedemann. I appreciate it.
Take care. You guys do a great job with this.
Thank you. We appreciate it. So I'm going to send it off to my good friend Jake to close us out. Jake.
Thank you, Dan. Great job with the interviews, as always. Our next TV game here will be Tuesday, February 4th. It's a basketball doubleheader as the girls will play Gateway at 5:30, and then the boys taking on the Collingswood Panthers at 7. Both games will be live on Sterling Channel 19 and YouTube.com/Sterling TV 19. So the Knights drop a tough one here at the Castle, their first home loss of the year. But that's going to do it for all of us here on Sterling Channel 19. I'm Jake Clark, was joined by Dan Leakin, and to everybody behind the scenes doing a fantastic job. And as always, go Knights.